pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank everyone for coming to the meeting tonight.
Thank you, Brandy.
Okay. Roll call, Diane.
Mr. Douglas.
Here.
Mr. Irwin.
Here.
Mr. Duquette.
Here.
Mr. Bruno.
Here.
And Mr. McDonald.
Here.
And let's go. Mr. Gwyneth, our zoning officer. Kyle Jarvis, our deputy highway superintendent. Mrs. Marino, our recreation director. Mr. Tatro, our water and sewer superintendent. Mr. Farrell, our highway superintendent. Confidential secretary to the board, Pamela Barber, and Chaka is excused. And Helen also too.
Okay. Diane, tax clerk, your town clerk.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move right along. Number 5, I need a motion for the regular board meeting of June 10th. I need a motion to accept the minutes.
Can I make a motion to read those aloud? They weren't posted on the website. I'd like to hear what they are without being able to review them before we accept them.
No? We're going to just give him a copy of them.
And we'll get him.
I think he'd get that.
After we accept them.
Yeah.
So I can't have a draft copy before they're accepted.
Well, I don't think you have the ability to ask if they need to be modified. So I think the board can vote to accept them, and then if you want a copy of it, you're welcome to certainly have that.
Okay.
So once we approve, we can get a copy after we approve them. So, or accept them, or acceptance.
So I need a motion for acceptance of the minutes.
So,
Mel? Eric? All in favor? Aye. After the meeting, she can make you a copy of it.
Okay.
Yeah, community input.
John, you're up first. Telegraph Road and Bruce Drive.
I purchased a house in 2010, built a home here in Peru on Bruce Drive. I've been through several bridges being out. The one on Telegraph just recently, the Carpenter's Flat Bridge last year, the Bear Swamp Bridge that was out for a short time when they redid that bridge, and also the Arthur Road Bridge. None of those bridges were out for 2.5 years, which is the projected time for this Bruce Drive bridge. That's totally unacceptable as a taxpayer in this community. Our Bruce Drive and those homeowners off that, there's no way to get to our hometown, our area, from Peru to Peru. We have to leave the district, leave the school district, leave the fire district to go to and from. I'm aware that you have contacted and made arrangements for emergency services, for shared services, mutual aid, but for 2.5 years, I don't believe it was discussed with them. That's a very long time. There's ways to get temporary bridges. Can anyone comment if there's been a permit filed with DEC? I know last time it was blaming DEC for 90 days on the
I can comment. We did contact for a temporary fix from DEC, and it was rejected.
Is there a date of that?
What's that?
Is there a date of that?
When I met with them?
Yes.
Oh God, last year, early last year.
Is there anything recently since the bridge has been closed?
Yeah.
Is there a permit filed?
No. We hired an engineering firm for all the permits and all that. And all that, if we had filed, I'll state it again, 3 years in a row for the bridge in New York to replace this structure, which would have paid for 90% of this, but we didn't get it the last 3 years. This project was actually started 4 years ago for the first year. So it's, you either pay what everybody in the state's money, and you get 90% of the funding if we would have got it, which we didn't. 3 times we didn't get it, so this was, taxpayer-wise spending money, this was a logical way to go, is try to get the money.
So the bridge was closed since session ended on June 6th, was the scheduled date of the legislative session, and it actually ended that Saturday morning about 6 a.m. There was no grants filed with the current legislation, so there's not going to be anything filed until when they go in session in January.
We hired an engineer firm, it's in the permitting process now.
So there hasn't been any permits filed with DEC, even though they were
that's
to
going to take
blame.
over a year to get a permit. And then you got the design.
So DEC takes a year for a permit.
We don't do the permitting, our engineer firm does all our permitting and all our work.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just commented DEC, and then the Army Marine Corps were quoted several times in saying it is what it is. But if I have a heart attack, or someone's drowning, or one of my neighbors needs emergency services, and it takes 4 extra minutes to get to the hospital, it isn't what it is with somebody's life's at stake for 2.5 years. When there's temporary bridges, there's ways you can put a one-way there.
There's no way to do a one-way. That is underneath that other lane too.
There's ways to build
We looked at
temporary
that.
bridges. I mean, they did a huge thing over a monstrosity of a bridge on Bear Swamp in less time than that little culvert bridge is going to be taking to fix.
But you have to understand, the one over the northway was no wetlands involved. This one has a wetlands. The Bear Swamp Bridge, the whole state's paying for it. If you put a temporary bridge in, which can be done, I'm not saying it can't be done, it's going to be local taxpayers funding it. Number one, and then plus the structure itself, we are already looking at almost, you know, 1,571,000 just for that's as of 2 years ago's price. So we're going to be in $2 million range somewhere in there, the way inflation everything is now. Never mind the temporary.
And it is expensive, I agree, but it's still, that's where our homes are. That's where my taxes just went up this year with a $39,000 or $59,000 increase. And we should have a way to get from Peru to Peru, or if I need to go to the hospital, I shouldn't have to take a detour for 2.5 years when I just did one for a 1.5 years, not that long ago. 50 yards away from that bridge. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault, I just don't think it's saying it is what it is acceptable answer to taxpayers for 2.5 years on a small little culvert. I think there needs to be something looked at for a temporary bridge, whether it's a one-way stop or whatever would be feasible for the town, but just having 2 huge mounds of dirt with a bunch of brick cylinders there and closed is, as a taxpayer, I don't think is acceptable.
As far as your assessment going up, that's something that the county did, that's not the town of Peru's work. So maybe you should be dealing with the legislators in the town of Plattsburgh?
I will go there next.
Okay. And
Has anyone
as far as the
contacted-
Bear Swamp, that's a state job. I mean, they have way more money than the town of Peru. Like Mike said, we're spending $2 million. We don't have a budget for $2 million in the town of Peru. And we're trying to keep the taxes down as it is. And we just don't have that kind of money floating around. So we have to work with our engineers and take our time and do it correctly.
But even a temporary bridge, you're going to go through the Army Corps
Right.
and the DC permit process for a temporary bridge.
And spend $750,000 for something we're going to tear down and waste.
But if it's 2 or 3 years, it's not a waste. If it saves one life possibility, that's not a waste. You can't put a value on somebody's life.
We're not valuing anybody's life. We believe everybody's life is very valuable.
Well, 3 or 4 minutes with someone having a heart attack or slipping and falling or any kind of injuries.
We originally did look at a one-way. Once we investigated and got checking it, it's actually out underneath the other lane, the lane going north. And there's actually a sinkhole on the guardrails on the outlet that's started too. So it's gone. It just, I can't give you an answer that's going to make you happy, but dollar-wise, it makes sense to do it this way. Yeah, I know it's an inconvenience. It's going to be an inconvenience for us to plow. We know that.
You don't even plow road. You don't even blow a plow road. I'm up at 3:30 every morning. It's never touched it, but the town, inside this little village, it's plowed. So I don't even want to hear that one.
Yeah, it's atrocious.
Well, I'd like to either, I don't know if I need to make a motion or if it's even in the order to make a motion, but to look into possibly putting a temporary bridge. If it's going to be there for several years, I don't think it's necessary to waste. Several months, 100% it's a waste. This is 2.5 years. That's not a 2.5 year job.
We can talk to the engineer people. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna have an answer for each.
I understand that. I couldn't make the last meeting. I tried to read the minutes. That's why I asked for them, so I could see what they said and if I needed to.
Yeah, they don't go on until, or we don't get them until after we approve them anyways.
My question, I can have a question?
What's your name, Steve?
I'm Paul Huddy, I live on Peru. Been there for 10 years. I don't usually complain, but now that we're here, and you did bring up the plowing. That road does not get plowed in the morning.
Yes.
She had a car accident. I was out on that road at 6:30 in the morning when 6 inches of snow fell out there. I'm not saying it's never plowed, but it's not plowed like it is in town. Because I get up at 3:30 every morning and make my way to Franklin Correctional Facility. That road is never plowed that early. I come through town and the town is taken care of. So I'll just leave it at that. My question
It's
is,
the first time I've ever heard of this complaint too.
because I don't come down and complain.
Yeah, but if someone
But that
did
road-
plow a road, I would have other people, I would think would complain.
We run 7 plow runs, they're all done at the same time, and my deputy's right there, he plows that. He can tell you, he can plow just as much as the village. We do not skip. If we skip anything, we skip the village, because we're shorter driving.
Well, I beg to differ because I travel through it every morning.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say the difference.
So the question now is in results for this road, you guys said you've been in a process of doing this for 4 years. When you guys were working on this road with the bridge last year, or the year before, however long it's been, the culvert that was right next to it was never considered as part of that package still? And then when you got into it and you realized that that was an issue, because it became an issue, why was it not just fixed while you guys had the road down?
I'll answer that, because we looked at both. The other one, we filed 4 times, I think, for Bridge New York. We did not get that. So we had to fund that.
Well, excuse me for a second. If I was in a housing project and I got into something I was building in, and then I got into another area of that house that needed to be prepared, don't you think I would fix that before I put a new one in? It's the same idea.
Houses don't cost millions of dollars.
I understand what you're saying, but
We only have a
where do we
limited
get- where do we
fund
get our money?
that we're
Where
working
do we
with.
get our money?
We don't understand. We only have a limited fund we're working with.
I know that my taxes go from this town to the county to the state.
It's great. So do the rest of us.
I understand that. So when we are in need of something like a road repair like that, how come it takes so long to get all that money back to this area?
There's a process. I mean, we filed 4 years in a row now. Bridge in New York, we've got denied it 4 years in a row.
That's what you just said.
So there was one denied for 2024?
4 years.
Because I looked
I don't
today,
know. It's been
on
last
our
4 years.
website for
We applied
DEC,
again.
there's not a permit application for that.
You're not going to get a permit until you actually get the money.
There's not even an application on the public
You're not
website.
going to get an application until you actually get
the money
funding
first.
Can I say something too?
Sure, say your name.
Karen Langless, Bruce Drive as well. I know we're doing a lot of like talking here and stuff. Is these documents available through FOIL? Because I'm interested in taking a look at these permits that were filed and these things that we were denied for, because we do have a way to FOIL this. Am I correct? I mean, you're saying you put them in, but how do we know you put them in? How do we
Bridge
know?
New York,
this was-
I got the paperwork.
We
Okay.
have the paper.
So just send me a FOIL.
Okay.
And I'll
So,
send you the
because I'm
application.
concerned, and I guess as another thing with being on Bruce Drive, I walked down there the other day because I didn't know if there was a tree down in the road. And apparently, the dirt piles you put up, this is how we're treating our roads. We have dirt piles these are piles of dirt, if anybody wants to see these, and this is all weeds grown up on top of everything. This is on both sides of the road. So I guess I don't understand, and I guess if someone can answer me, and we put up concrete pylons that it takes 10 men to move, why did we move all this dirt in here and cause more of this?
Number one, we didn't have the concrete pylons, those come out of Vermont.
Okay.
They were ordered. So to stop traffic come through, we put the dirt piles with the barriers. And we did everything what the certified traffic engineer told us to do. Now, do the dirt piles need to be there? No. Those could actually come out. The barriers have to be there.
No one has probably been down there, but this is what this mess looks like.
I've been down, I go down every week.
It's a mess down there. It's an absolute mess. And I guess my concern is, that we've been talking about this road apparently for 4 years. We've been talking about it. Why haven't we been doing something else and preparing for it? And I do beg to differ about the plowing and the nonsense on that road, because I tipped a vehicle over and had to be smashed out of my vehicle to get out of it. I was only going 28 miles an hour. So I beg to differ about that road. The road is in poor disrepair. It has been for years. And if you want to come down a little bit farther on the side of Bruce Drive, there's grass growing out of the concrete on the road. The road has not been taken care of. So I can understand why that culvert has probably gone like that, because we're not doing preventative measures for these roads. I mean,
Again, in 17 years I've been on this board, this is the first time I've ever heard someone complain.
and again, because they don't come down and complain.
17 years though, but if
So-
I had a road that, I can tell you, anybody in this town has a problem with anything, they call me up.
So, and for example, when I'm on my
And I'm not
time,
saying it's not right,
Yeah.
but I think I would get a phone call within, reasonable time that I can talk to Mike. We all talk to Mike every single day. Mike's very approachable, his phone's on all the time.
so the day that I got in the accident, the state trooper said to me, these roads are horrible. I said, they're usually like this. I started complaining to the fire department, and then all of a sudden, I get home finally after being checked out, and there's a pickup truck plowing my road. Pickup truck.
That happens on bigger storms when we had 2
You know,
plows
it
down
wasn't,
last
it
year.
wasn't a big storm either. It could have been.
We had 2 plows down, man, last year, twice.
It was
or
2
3
years
times.
ago, actually. But I guess I'm just concerned because of the fact that, we have people that live on our roads that, I don't have a choice, I have to go to work. I have to be at work. I have people in this room that actually have to be at work every day. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it with weather and fixing roads, and I need to be working in a certain amount of time. And now you're taking, it's 5-6 miles out of my way every single day to get where I need to get. And I understand, and I'm very happy, and I'm pleased that you guys are hearing our concerns, but I don't really know if anybody truly cares, because I was extremely upset when I heard the YouTube version last week of, it is what it is what it is. Well, guess what? That's probably not a good response to people who are paying taxes in this town, especially when my assessment went up $70,000. And I have a home that's worth quite a bit of money on Bruce Drive, and God forbid, if I want to sell it now, I don't even have a road to get there. So, my house has to go up for sale? Think you're a realtor? That's not gonna look good.
I could sell it.
Yeah, so, but you're not gonna sell it for as much, because you can't get to the road for 2.5 years. That's not fair to me or any other person that lives on Bruce Drive.
It was an estimate though, too, for 2.5 years.
What's the
It
next
may
step,
not
Mike,
be
going
that.
on with that? What's the next step?
The completion date is from the engineering, it's with the permitting and the design and construction, and the completion is July 2026.
That's if you get the money, correct?
What's
That's
that?
if you get the money. That's if you get the money.
No,
No,
we're financing it.
We're
now.
beyond that now.
We give up on the bridge.
We gave up
because
on it.
We didn't get it 3 times in a row.
We tried a quick fix when the Carpenter's Flat Bridge was out, because we realized there was gonna be more traffic there. We tried a quick fix with, I don't know, 7
Yeah,
yards
we
of
did do
concrete
it,
to try to keep it open.
but unfortunately, the bottom's gone, and the dirt is coming from the top underneath the blacktop going down. That's why there's nothing underneath the blacktop. We did do a temporary fix there, but it held up part of
Until the next.
We were hoping one lane would be, we could function with one lane, but that, it's just too dangerous.
Can I ask what the emergency services plan looks like for folks in distress who need ambulance services, fire trucks? What is the plan in place for that, for emergency services?
They
Are
were all
coming out of-
notified every day.
Well, notified, okay, that's fine, notified, but what is the plan that's in place? Who's gonna respond first? Peru, Sable, Plattsburgh? I don't know, what does that plan look like?
It'd be Peru, I'm sure, right, Courtney or Mike?
For actually, they tone out 2 departments.
So the fire department has a paid ambulance staff that's on 24/7.
How
So
Peru does?
Peru and Keysville joint.
Eastman? Okay.
The ambulance splits its time amongst departments. So if you call for an ambulance, you're most likely, unless that ambulance is out on a call, you're going to get that ambulance. But again, they could be coming from Peru Station or Keysville Station, it depends where the crew is at. Fire response and the fire department has done this for more serious call than everything, is it's an automatic dispatch. If it's Peru's call, they're automatically dispatching the nearest fire department. So on your end, it would be Keysville. If it's on this end, they would automatically dispatch Peru and South Plattsburgh right at the same time. So you could have a fire truck showing up from either way.
No, we don't get it for one way.
What's
Yeah.
that?
We'd only get it for one way.
They can't come around that way.
Well, I mean, Bruce Drive, can't they take 22 to Arthur Road over to Fuller?
Yeah, going through another fire district in another town, another school district.
We have to go through all the fire districts sometimes to get to our own district, how the fire districts are lined. Or like, you take the end of Norrisville Road, the end of Norrisville Road is South Plattsburgh's district. They have to come way into Peru's district to get to the end of their district. That's just, but either way, 2 fire departments will most likely be dispatched. So to help if there is a delay, you will have a truck coming from another way.
And being it said that it's going to be paid for now to Peru, can we file for an emergency permit with the DEC and the Army Corps of Engineers? Being they're probably going to deny it, that it's been 4 years, but now that the bridge is 100% out, is there a trigger date?
I don't.
All the paperwork is in the engineer's hands right now. Best we can do is talk to them and get you an answer back maybe in the next couple of meetings.
Okay.
Who's the engineer on the project?
CNS engineer,
Out of,
downstate somewhere.
Down past Albany. Are they the ones down past Albany?
Saratoga,
I was gonna say it's totally Joe.
you can Google it, it will show up.
And when we picked CNS, we had our own engineer firm that did the other one at Telegraph. And when I met with him for the road closure, because they've already did the preliminary, some of the preliminary design, it's having a permit. Instead of starting from scratch with everything, they suggested we stick with CNS. Because they filed already the last 3 years with the Bridge New York paperwork. So that's, we are trying to streamline it quicker, but it just gets permit process. And this structure is huge, it's 27 feet wide.
Anything else?
As far as road repair, Telegraph, when you guys do that, are you gonna widen that road? Because when you paint it, you're painting in the stone on the side of the road. It seems like the road is not wide enough.
Road's 20
So
feet.
when you guys go to do the repair on it, are you gonna widen it?
What's that?
Telegraph, because
It'll be painted the same width, 20 feet, which it is now.
then you need to build shoulders on the damn thing.
Yes, we do. That road, if we could have got the bridge for Renewal, that was on the paving list. Right from
So
Bear Swamp to.
you're gonna add width to it, so
No,
you can have shoulders.
it's gonna be same width it is, same as the all safe.
So every time you paint it, you're gonna have paint on the gravel.
No, not painting grass.
Okay, guy. All right,
Just
everyone
20
is there
feet,
for
it's
10
been
years,
20
and it's
feet.
not enough.
Been 20 feet per year.
But I'm just saying that when you ride a white line on a damn thing, it breaks up on the edge, but it's right on the gravel. There's not enough width to it to hold
Well,
the
it's
paint down.
broke, well, we know why it's broke.
But I'm just asking, so are you, is there a plan to even widen it a little bit to give it more roll?
No,
Okay.
and also too, is there any paving activity coming on Telegraph or Bruce Drive? Bruce Drive is ripped up beyond belief. I know across from my house, coming on the corner across the street from our neighbors, it is ripped up. It's like the road's gone. It's like dirt.
What number are you at?
29.
29?
Yep. So when you come around that corner, I mean, that whole side across the street, there's no pavement there. I mean,
Is that on the pavement list? I mean, I know we have like 2 or 3 roads a year, we do.
there's 5 roads, and that 5 roads is just under $400,000, and that's all the money we got.
For this year.
yeah, I'm not sure if but we've been there 10 years. I'm not, John, you've been?
Yeah, the roads go 20 plus.
Yeah, well, it is
Because you
ripped
can't.
up.
There's not enough funding
Mhm.
to keep up with. We got 183 miles, so we got 116 miles of road, or 83 center miles, that we maintain. When you can only do 5 miles a year at that dollar amount,
It's over 20 years.
you can't keep up.
And I just have one more comment, since we're going around this detour. The Sullivan Road, Fuller Road intersection is a disaster waiting to happen with people in the stop sign and running through and this and that because you're seeing, no, on the Sullivan side, coming around the corner where I have to go through to get on Jabaz Allen. There's so much more traffic now that people are not obeying the signs, running through. I'm going through that road several times a day and that intersection is terrible. So Fuller, Sullivan, turn down, it's awful.
What, is there stop signs there?
Yeah, but it's an odd angle.
It's an odd angle, and I don't know if you
Stop
want to
signs
take a
are
look
maybe,
at those
yeah.
stop signs or doing something with it, because I've almost been hit twice. And once it was at, it should be a 4-way. Because
It's just because going down Sullivan towards Jabaz, and then Fuller comes in, it's almost like a Y. You gotta
Mhm.
pull almost straighten out just on the
We
one
can
direction.
we can put in a request for that.
And the guys
Yeah,
on the other side.
We can put in a request to the county, they have to approve it, just like speed limits. So a lot of them have to go to the state, they deny us because of wrecks, they go by accidents and what happens. But we can put a request in for that. Do we need a written request from them, or do we just send them?
It's not bad out here,
Because I can tell you,
but the town board can actually do the
It's awful.
four-way if they want. I don't have a problem with it, but it has to be
Can't
an
hurt.
official
Slow
resolution.
people down.
I will tell you myself, going down to this construction site, I've noticed it myself, because people don't think they have to stop, and two people came in front of me, so I would say if
But we can't enforce it, that's the only thing.
we can't enforce it, but we could put a four-way stop there
Well,
ourselves.
the other
Like you're saying.
intersection's the same off the end, coming the other way where Sullivan and Arthur Road, everything meets, because that traffic's cutting through there. And I know there's been complaints, because my son's building a house on the corner and he works for the state, so they've actually had cars sitting there trying to slow it down and people paying a little more attention.
Because the uptick in the traffic going around both ways now, and those are dangerous areas through there. And I know exactly, that's another one.
Yeah, people don't know which
So
way
what
to
you're
stop
saying-
and they stop on the wrong
What you're
side.
saying, like, is we could pass that and you could put
Yeah.
up stop signs there?
You could do that, then he's talking about that's town hall state.
Yeah, that's not safe on that end.
That one we won't be able to
Yep.
do. So, do we have signs for that?
No, I have to do it. But you gotta do a resolution.
So next meeting, if that's something we could do, I would agree with you on that one for sure.
And that's not just because of this, it's because it's been
Just a
like
lot
that
more
for
traffic
years.
too.
It's been like that for a long time. That's why I never went that way, it's dangerous.
Once you put them up, you've got to get somebody there watching a military turnpike. I don't know if you've ever gone there. We put four-way stops there. I've gone down and somebody was zinging right through like,
So usually once they're up, that'll go, information goes to state police, they'll
Usually
usually
they
have
sit
the
there.
car sit there for
Yeah,
2
wow,
days,
that's good.
at the beginning, then they fade out.
so get
Just
ready.
make people aware, that's all.
They've been sitting there recently, just
Yeah.
for increased traffic. I've seen them every time I went through recently.
Yeah, that whole Chasm Road back and forth and around, that's a lot of traffic. It's been
Been-
that way since
It's
Carpenter
been
Flats
3
Bridge.
years of a mess right there.
But we could put that on for resolution on our side of the town. Anything else? Okay. We will, anyone else signed up?
No.
Okay. We'll move on. Number 7, home and community renewal, pro housing certificate we all got, saying that, we were accepted into, what our application. So hopefully something down the pipeline, something for housing we all need a lot of more housing in Clinton County and Essex and Franklin, so we are now on the list.
Excellent.
Can I ask you a question? Housing, about the housing, what is that for?
I'm sorry, we don't have an open public session, you have to sign up, and then you have a chance to talk at the end, you just can't break up the meetings, okay? Thank you.
You can have a copy of it though, it's just something that we applied for the state for housing, to have low income housing as a town, like Plattsburgh and Morrisonville did and stuff like that. Okay, number 8, acceptance of NYSEG's letter of updating the town hall lighting, or not, yeah. So, doing everything in LED, everything is retrofit, from up here to downstairs to the offices, to do everything in LED. Where was the total, Pam? It was gonna wash out again.
3,105 on the first paragraph.
Yeah. So I need a motion and a second, and we can get these on order like we did the hot water garage and highway garage.
Make it.
Jim?
Second.
Second, Craig. Resolution amendment. Or no, it's no resolution, it's just actually just acceptance, I'm sorry. Sorry. Any discussion about it?
I just have one question. We determine how we're paying for the extras to install these?
Not yet, but they do have to be installed within 90 to 120 days, I
Okay,
think.
I talked to Craig today, and he said the 90-day thing wasn't.
Because he was trying to see if it was gonna get
It was
extended.
no longer, yeah, because I know there's no way we can get it installed in 90 days. It's our busy season in the summer. But like the highway garage and the water and sewer especially, everything's in pipe, so you're gonna have expensive conduit, wires, the fixtures are all different sizes. They don't match what we have,
Yeah,
so there's gonna be a lot of work to retrofit them.
so. Craig said he was gonna try to see if we could get 6 to 9 months on them to get them done. That way we have longer time if you guys slow down in the winter, fall time.
Yeah.
And if not, then we can see who else can do.
Just so you know, there will be more expense coming, because
Yeah.
like I said, some conduit's gotta be cut, extended, wires extended, junction boxes.
Would it
That's all
be cheaper?
THN, right?
What's that?
That's all THN, all in conduit,
Yeah.
all stranded.
In our two garages.
Yeah.
These are Romex, I believe, with all the beams, and downstairs is all Romex, that's not
That's
as
not-
big of a deal, but the highway and the water and sewer garages are.
Would it be cheaper to get fixtures, or would you say man hours, figure the man hours versus new fixtures, or?
What do you mean, change the fixtures out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, it's gonna be hard to match, I think, what we have there, because they're pretty specific light, so every light in the conduit comes off the ceiling.
Down drops.
Ways.
Are they sodium vapor now, are they, or?
No, they're T5s.
They're T5s, and now they're of course all LEDs, and of course the state is pushing everybody to
There's no
these.
LED.
And that's why there's a lot of good programs right now this year that is giving you, basically, it's washing out the cost of it.
And it's just.
But you gotta have the manpower or somebody to do it after.
Yeah.
So, did Craig tell you he got a longer date then? Because he hasn't called me back on it.
I asked him, he just said, yeah, he said he's got somebody that's got years, so.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know if I push it that far.
Yeah, he told me he was gonna check with the one lady, he thought for sure he'd get 9 months, to get reimbursed, so, okay. Well, I will call Craig after the meeting just to see about the timeframe, okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 9, Craig, you wanna?
I'm gonna withdraw my letter of resignation.
Okay. So I need a motion and a second to accept his withdrawal.
I'll withdraw.
Mel? Jim? All in favor? Aye. Already down to other business, number 10. So number 10, Eric.
Quick shout out to Diane, I attended a little luncheon that she put together for all the county clerks and stuff. Very impressive. Well received, and the gentleman that came up out of Albany, yeah, nice guy. Definitely, at least there's an inside line to get questions answered. It's a big deal.
Yep, thank you, Eric.
And the food was great. I had leftovers for 4 days. It was good.
Got a big crowd.
Yeah.
Jim?
I'm good.
Diane?
Just a huge thank you to Chris and David today. Job accomplished, getting the downstairs purged and the closet there purged, and lesson learned for all of us, if we don't need it, throw it out. We don't need to save it. And now we have lots of space, so that we can use, which we needed. So
Thank you for
it was a great job, but Chris and David were wonderful, so I appreciate them very much.
Can I hire Chris and David?
What's that?
Can I hire them after hours? And that was one person, myself.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so, anything else, Dan?
No.
Thank you.
You deserve to after all the stuff I brought over there.
Oh, God, it's all in my basement still, trying to give it away, no one wants it. Matt?
I'm good.
No.
Just a shout out to Mike, Tyler, and the guys. It was a pretty stiff heat day the other day, putting tar back down, so I'm sure he dropped a few pounds in there. So, a little warm. It was warm.
Anything else?
That's it.
Craig?
I'm good.
Bob?
Just one thing, after tomorrow, I'm on vacation for a couple of weeks. Got a couple of projects that need to be watched over, and we have Mike Boynton from the town of Sable, he's on board. We have that reciprocal agreement, so we're good. Christine's got his number. It's a couple of footer bores and for new houses, and that's it. But other than that, we're caught up, we're busy, but we're caught up.
Thanks, Bob.
Tyler?
As Mel said, you know, we ventured through the heat, we put our big boy pants on, got it done. We didn't let it bother us. The guys would rather work outside and sit in the shop and wait for it to be cool. So, yeah, we had a couple guys on vacation, so we tried to get some stuff prepped for paving. I think we got one road being paved this week, and then the asphalt plant actually broke while we were trying to get ready for another paved job. So I'm sure Mike will let you know that it kind of moved our schedule around for paving. So, but the guys have been steady. Whatever next road, let's go. So plus in the mix, getting culverts done. You know, 7 trucks in the shop. There's not always something to do. So we're trying to keep those trucks up and rolling.
How's the paver holding up this year?
Well, we just put Kyle on, so I'm the only original guy in the back of the paver right now, so it's a little, there's a lot of juggling. I never ran the paver, but I always watched Pat do it, and Lloyd and everybody else while I was in the back, so I'm juggling, trying to get Andrew up to speed over here and trying to get Kyle. So we're going slow, it's a slow process, but that's how we learn, you know, we're all fresh at it, so. Plus, it's been a whole year since I've been on the back, so I got to remember what I'm doing again, you know. But
a lot more to it than what it looks like.
there is a lot more to it than what it looks like. And when it was 104-degree air temps while we're on the back of that thing, and the sweat's just going like this, but we got it done. So no, Kyle said after, he said it's intimidating, but he said he can get it. And, you know, the couple shots, you know, and. Andrew on the other side, he has done it with me once before when we were in the village, and he said the same thing. It's a lot. There's a lot of moving things back there and trying to keep asphalt the right height and stuff, and he's the same way. He's like, give us a couple shots and we'll be good to go. So
Good. Anything else? Good.
All right. Hopefully, long story short. So heat. So we had to cancel a couple of games. Heat index was way too high for our kiddos. Then all of a sudden the rain comes, so guess what? Fields have been so dry for so long that now everything's sitting on top. We've got ducks, all kinds of other stuff. So we're trying to get done when we can. Obviously our youth have said, oh well, I have vacation this day or I have this, and it's one of those, you know, you forgot to tell us that at the beginning of the season. So doing a bunch of field maintenance myself and pulled my family in for it. But the guys are doing great with, you know, adding the clay and everything else. Got the batting cages up. So summer activities start July 1 with arts and crafts over at Lapham's and then tennis over here, so it's a double week. So I'll pull off some of our other rec assistants that need to gain some hours and utilize them to help out with the 2 camps then. I also spoke with Storm Trainer, and she gave us 2 AED machines. Batteries are good till end of 2005. The only thing they're missing is the... Exactly. It's been a long day already. Procter & Regent's they're reading the... Yeah. So, which makes better sense in longevity. The thing that we're missing is the pediatric key. It's this actual key that goes in so it controls the voltage. But I know the cost of those, we'll order 2 of them. So we'll actually have 3 AED machines. What I'd like to do is get the one back up at Sullivan and put in a nice spot. Get one down at Hayworth with everything that goes on down there. I definitely think they could use one. And get one up at Sullivan as well. So
once those are at those parks, we should probably post in each park where they are, how to locate them, that kind of stuff.
Yes. And whether or not you want to have them locked with a code, whether or not it's, you know, specific, and, you know, I think if the adults know the code, that kind of a thing, if we do that kind of a lock, I think we'll cut down on the vandalism. Otherwise, the only other way to do it is to wire them in with electricity, and I think that's a little more difficult.
I think the code would
I think the code then...
Keep them all the same.
Exactly. So, and as long as, you know, we put it out there for every, you know, adult, I mean, kids don't prefer those, they don't, you know, they're gonna just try and beat it up. So, but it was nice that they offered these the free ones, and they're actually the exact same ones that the school uses. So we should have a lot of people that are familiar with it.
We just trained a bunch of people, so we're in good shape.
So, I think we're good there. Any questions? Comments? Okay, I'm also opening up soccer for re-registration, because we get a lot of people that missed the month and a half before. July 1 opens up re-registration for fall soccer. And just to give you kind of a inkling, I think I've had about 20 people at least reach out about soccer coming up that they didn't get to register. I said, just wait till July 1, because then they have to click on the waiver and everything else. But we already have over 376 signed up.
Good.
So,
That's incredible.
okay.
How's the coaching situation gonna be, all right?
I do everything I can to encourage people that have coached before to coach again, and knowing some of the other new people coming in and everything else. So I've got my fingers crossed, but it's looking pretty good. And I also have a line, we had made a decision to hire an assistant per season. And so I think I've got a very good hook on someone who is ready to step in for
Oh, that's
soccer.
excellent, good.
So, yes. Thank you.
Need that.
No, thank you.
Chris, if you could send me something to put it on the board about the soccer.
Certainly, perfect.
Courtney. Activated carbon was switched out last week, so that's done. And it looks like we're in the final stretch of the permitting for the reservoir dredging, open next month. We see it from
APA.
DC.
DC.
Yeah. It's going out this week in the paper for however many days. APA, I think, came back, no permit needed from them.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope.
Mike?
Locust Drive, weather permitting, will be paid Wednesday. But the gearbox went in the asphalt plant, so that put everything back. The next date earliest I can get asphalt will be August 19th. That's the next date.
Wow.
Unfortunately, when the county did the county contract this year, the paperwork didn't get filed out stone. So it got caught after the fact, so they sent it out, but Upstone didn't bid it. Town of Plattsburgh was currently working on an own bid with Upstone that could possibly jump onto the contract too. I don't know if that contract is finished. I know Upstone's like $3 a ton more, it's not a lot of money. When we can go, we're gonna go, whether it's $3 a ton more or not.
Availability.
So it's backed everything up. Unfortunately, where we get it, DOT has got that plant locked up for all of July for warm mix asphalt, which is nothing we use. So I'm assuming for the Northway or for a DOT job.
It's supposed to be.
It's pretty much, the only other thing, I got a call Friday, well Thursday. Our new truck that's been ordered got backlogged because of the automatic transmission shortage with Allison, because we're not gonna see that transmission until January 25, which puts it in with the great New York State electrical rules. So now we can't get that truck on paper because it's supposed to be electric. They just tested in New York City, they're only getting 2 hours. We can't make a plow run in 2 hours. So
That's like crazy.
we
Takes
got,
like 3
we
years
had,
to
I
get
just
it.
come back from highway school, that has all been thrown out, but New York State hasn't sent anything out to the manufacturers that they can still sell gas or diesel plow trucks, so we're caught up in it right now. They did offer another version that I can have, a different brand, out of the same place, but standard, but we've gone all the automatics, this was the last one. And we would have been all automatic, and we just soon stick with that, so I made some calls, there was calls in Billy Jones' office to get somebody to send something out from the state. So, because everybody's screaming, electric isn't gonna work. It's the hydraulic part. Like the garbage truck in New York City, the garbage part it works fine. When they put the front plow on with the hydraulic, that's killing the back. Other than that, it's all right.
Pam?
I got a couple of things. So Dave Jarlett's memorial bench has been delivered last week. And the hometown hero banner was also ordered for him. So hopefully that'll be in soon. Concerts, I put a flyer in everybody's thing. And I had a question. Ali Webinaro sent me the listings of the insurance. I have a question that one of the vendors is selling wine down at the park. Can we have that if we've got a no alcohol, no tobacco?
We can't. If it's not, if we have no liquor, no alcohol, you can't sell
I
wine.
mean, it's
We're gonna have to talk to her, because, I mean, we gotta post it as no liquor, no alcohol, no smoking, no tobacco. We gotta, gotta stick with our own rules.
Definitely.
so.
Plus you'd have to change the insurance too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you put the car insurance now, it might cause you a problem.
Who's gonna do it?
I'll tell her.
I'm
the oldest.
You know that. You notice Mel talks to her a lot, didn't wanna step on that one,
You
did
gonna
he?
go over and have a glass of wine, Will?
But no,
I don't like that one.
we just opened up a can of worms. I mean, I understand that it's just a sipping thing, but the problem is someone sips too much, something happens.
Well, I don't even know that they're doing a sipping thing, but they're still selling the alcohol.
Yeah, it's
No.
still a chance of.
But I don't know if maybe they were there last year, because when I was never able to walk around because I was in my own booth. So you may get.
We
that.
all went down there a lot though. I mean, one of us or someone
Yeah,
was always
definitely.
down there, so
Yeah, I don't.
I didn't see it last year.
Okay.
Just that if we overlooked it last year,
Yeah.
lucky then.
Mel was at the ice cream truck every time I walked by.
Yeah,
Is that where you were hanging out?
but no, we're definitely gonna have to say something because
I'll call her in the morning.
it would open up our insurance because we just don't know if someone buys a bottle, they drink it in their car, or they just bought it right there on our property.
That's what I thought.
Nope, good catch. So. Thank you, Pam. Anything else?
Thank you,
I don't
Dave.
think so. We're starting our single audit tomorrow for 2022.
For 2022.
For the wastewater treatment plant. So, yes.
Anyone else, other business? Okay, discussion, public comments on agenda items only, anyone else?
That's your chance, sir. Maybe you had something you wanted.
No, I was curious as well. I'm sorry I stepped out of bounds, but
No, that's
you
all right.
guys brought it up as soon as we just talked, so I got corrected. I'm good.
That's it.
And I appreciate you giving it to me. Just a question, is this, I guess, for low-income families?
Basically what it does is, on Tom Mill Road, and over on the base, what they did for, low-income families and housing, it's different. It all depends, it could be low income, it could be this housing, it could be a bunch of different things, Bob can explain it to you.
I'll tell you, Paul, so, Governor Hochul is encouraging towns and municipalities to have additional dwelling units,
what I thought.
ADUs. So there's 300,000 to 300,000 housing shortages in New York State. So we had to submit all the information to them, what our zoning is and what's allowed in the zoning districts and so forth. And also previous subdivisions, a lot of work. I mean, it was a lot of hours spent on it. So it's not necessarily for low-income housing, but it also moves you to the top of the list to obtain grants for water and sewer projects and stuff. They kind of throw you a little carrot. So,
I get it.
Helps the infrastructure.
Yeah,
also.
but
Gives
I
us-
got it. I understand.
No
Yeah.
bridges unfortunately, but the other
We're gonna
things.
move a lot more, we're gonna move a lot more people into the area and
yeah.
no bridges.
Yeah.
I was just curious, thanks so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone else?
It's more like a radish.
Okay. Need a motion second for a resolution to pay 2024 June's bills.
Make the motion.
Craig?
Second.
Jim?
Whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following payment bills and invoices for services rendered to goods provided to the town in June 2024 from town of Peru vouchers for June 2024, number 20240083, including number 20240089, check dated 6/18/24, with a dollar amount totaling $97,680.28, of that $19,379.66 was wired, credit cards prepaid, and $78,303.62 is remaining to be paid for June 2024. Whereas the town board finds that claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form reasonable, none other therefore be resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to make such payment and being further resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Any discussion? Roll call, Diane?
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Ducat?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn to executive session for personnel issues.
Make it.
Craig?
I did not say that. Somebody over there.
I did. Jim, I meant. I didn't.
I did.
So Jim and Eric made motion, Eric second. All in favor? No discussion is gonna be coming up as I know.
No decision.
No decision. Yeah.